If you skipped one $14 streaming subscription, one $6 coffee twice a week, and one takeout dinner a month, you'd free up almost exactly $100. Most Canadians would barely notice the difference. But over a working lifetime, that same $100 a month, invested instead of spent, turns into more than $250,000. That's not a sales pitch. That's just math applied to real Canadian spending data and the long-run return of the Canadian stock market. So the question this video is actually about isn't, can you afford to invest $100 a month? It's, do you understand what you're really trading when you don't? In 2023, the average Canadian household spent $76,750 on goods and services. That's not income. That's after-tax money flowing out the door. And of that total, a meaningful slice goes to categories most of us would describe as optional. Restaurant meals, streaming, alcohol, clothing beyond what we need. Statistics Canada tracks every dollar of it. What this video does is take one specific number, $100 a month, which is roughly what the average Canadian household already spends on restaurant food in just 11 days, and follow it for the next 40 years. The result is uncomfortable. It's also boring in the way most real wealth building actually is. Let's start with where that $100 a month is currently going for the average Canadian household. In 2023, the average household spent $3,351 on food from restaurants. That works out to about $279 a month. So $100 is roughly 1/3 of what a typical household spends just eating out. On clothing and accessories, the average household spent $2,739 in 2023. About $228 a month. On personal care, $1,860 a year, or $155 a month. On recreation, including streaming, hobbies, and entertainment, Canadians spend several thousand more. The point isn't that any one of these categories is wasteful. The point is that for the average Canadian household, $100 a month is not a hypothetical. It is already being spent on something every single month. The question is just whether that something compounds. Now let's do the actual math. We'll assume you invest $100 a month into a broad Canadian index fund, something that tracks the S&P/TSX Composite, held inside a TFSA, so the growth is tax-free. The long-run total return of the S&P/TSX Composite, including dividends, has been roughly 7.5% per year over the last century. To stay conservative and to account for the small fees on an index ETF, we'll use 7% a year in this video. Every number you're about to hear is based on that 7% assumption, compounded monthly. After 10 years, your $100 a month becomes about $17,300. You contributed $12,000. The market handled the other $5,300. After 20 years, you're at roughly $52,000. You put in $24,000. Compounding more than doubled it. After 30 years, your account is worth about $122,000. Your total contributions, $36,000. The rest, over $85,000, is pure growth. After 40 years, the number lands at roughly $262,000. You contributed $48,000 over those 4 decades. Everything else, more than $214,000, came from the market doing its job while you did yours. 40 years sounds like forever when you're 25, but a 30-year-old who starts today will hit that 40-year mark at age 70, exactly when most Canadians are thinking about retiring. And $262,000 sitting in a TFSA, withdrawn tax-free, is not a small amount of money. It's roughly 7 full years of average Canada pension plan and old age security benefits combined. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. That entire $262,000 outcome is built on $100 a month, but the average Canadian household is not short of $100 a month. In 2023, the average household spent $12,090 on transportation, $12,046 on food, $3,351 on restaurants alone, and $2,739 on clothing. Trim 10% off the restaurant line and you're already there. So the question isn't whether the money exists. The question is why almost no one does this. Look at where Canadians actually keep their savings. According to the Canada Revenue Agency, The average unused TFSA contribution room per eligible Canadian is in the tens of thousands of dollars. Most TFSA holders aren't maxing out. Many are using their TFSA as a high interest savings account, earning 2 or 3% rather than as the long-term investment account it was designed to be. So the gap between what compounds $100 a month into $262,000 and what most Canadians actually do with their money isn't a gap of income. It's a gap of structure. The people who end up with that $262,000 aren't earning more. They've just automated a small decision once and let 4 decades do the rest. There's a reason this is harder than it sounds, and it isn't a character flaw. The first reason is that $100 today feels real, and $262,000 in 40 years feels abstract. Behavioral economists call this hyperbolic discounting. We systematically overvalue what we can have right now and undervalue what we can have later. A Friday night dinner you can taste tonight will always feel more concrete than a retirement balance you can't picture. The second reason is lifestyle inflation. The average Canadian household spent 14.3% more on goods and services in 2023 than in 2021. Some of that is inflation, but some of it is the quiet expansion of what we consider normal: the upgraded phone plan, the second streaming service, the meal kit subscription. Every upgrade feels small in the moment. None of them ever get reversed. The third reason is Canadian housing. In Toronto and Vancouver, shelter eats so much of a paycheck that the idea of investing anything feels almost insulting. In 2023, shelter made up 32.1% of the average Canadian household's consumption. For renters in major cities, it's often much more. When you're already stretched, just invest $100 a month sounds like advice from someone who doesn't understand your life. And that's a fair pushback, but it's also worth being honest about the math the other way. If you genuinely cannot find $100 a month, that is a budget problem worth fixing for its own sake, long before it's an investing problem. And if you can find it, but you're not, that's not a money problem. It's a default problem. So here's the concrete reframe. $100 a month is roughly $3.30 a day. It is one restaurant meal a week, replaced with one made at home. It is one streaming service canceled. It is the difference between premium gas and regular over a single tank, multiplied across a month. If you are between 25 and 35 right now and you set up an automatic transfer of $100 a month from your checking account into a low-cost Canadian index ETF inside your TFSA, and then you never touch it again, the historical math says you will retire with somewhere between $250,000 and $300,000 in tax-free money you didn't have to think about. That's the number to write down. Not a budget, not a spreadsheet, one automatic transfer, one index fund, set up once, and left alone for 40 years. The hardest part isn't the $100. The hardest part is the setup, which takes about 20 minutes at any Canadian bank or online brokerage. After that, it runs itself. The reason most Canadians don't end up with that $262,000 isn't that they couldn't afford it. It's that no one ever showed them the actual number. If you want more videos that turn vague Canadian financial advice into specific source-backed numbers you can actually use, subscribe. The next one breaks down exactly how much that same $100 a month grows inside a TFSA versus an RRSP versus a non-registered account. And the answer surprises most people.